This is Craig Black with the Dallas College CPA Program. And in this video, I am going to walk you through the CPA exam eligibility requirements, or at least the education related requirements. And this video is specifically for those who have a bachelor's degree that is not in accounting and not business. So anything else can be nursing, chemistry, doesn't matter. But if you have an accounting degree, I've got a separate video for you guys. And then if you've got a non-accounting business degree, management, marketing, finance, whatever, or an MBA, I've got another video for you guys. But this video is just for those who have a bachelor's degree that's not in accounting and not in anything business. Okay. So first thing we like to do is file an application of intent with the TSBPA, and that's the Texas State Board of Public Accountancy. It's the state agency that licenses CPAs. So with this application of intent, they will review your transcripts and they will tell you which, if any, of the CPA exam eligibility requirements have been met and which have not been met. Now, this step is it's a little more critical for our students who have accounting degrees and have business degrees because they're going to have quite a few of the courses. They've already completed those with their other degrees. So for you guys that don't have an accounting degree or business degree, probably won't have completed any of the required classes. Although there is a small chance you might have completed a few that would satisfy the business course requirement. So we'd still recommend going ahead and do this at the beginning of the process because again, this will, they'll review your transcripts, they'll send you a letter, and it'll just identify, what you have completed and what you have yet to complete, what you need to. And then here's the address. There's a link you can go to it, but also just go to the TSBPA website. Go to Google, put TSBPA, search for that. It'll take you right there. And from their menu, choose exam/qualification, then go to applications, then go to application of intent. It's very straightforward to fill out. You don't have to worry about making mistakes about the courses and all that kind of stuff because again, you probably won't have many completed. And if you don't, like if you get something wrong about the courses, they'll correct it for you. So they're going to review your application and your transcripts. And it's okay if you make a mistake. Just get all the biographical information. Just obviously get that correct. Name, address, social security number, all that kind of stuff. You want that to be correct. But in terms of which courses you've completed, that's okay if you make a mistake because again, they'll catch it. Okay. Now let's look at the eligibility rules. So we have courses here at Dallas College that will satisfy those rules, but you must have a bachelor's degree. So that's both a requirement to sit for the CPA exam, but it's also a requirement to take the courses in the CPA program at Dallas College. So this is not a Dallas College requirement. It's a TSBPA requirement. So again, the state agency that licenses CPAs. And so this program was authorized by them in an attempt to increase the number of applicants for the CPA exam. Because without this, you'd find that most students would either have to go back and get another bachelor's degree or get a master's degree or maybe both. And so this was a less expensive, far more affordable alternative. Um, but you must have the bachelor's degree. So again, that's a requirement to sit for the exam, but it's also a requirement to take the courses at Dallas College. Now, Dallas College is an open enrollment community college, so anyone can register for these courses. So if you decide to take these courses before you've finished a bachelor's degree, they're not going to count for CPA eligibility purposes. And the state will check dates on the transcript. So, that's not something that you'd be able to get away with. So, excuse me. If you do not have a bachelor's degree, go ahead and finish that, then come back to Dallas College and you can take the courses that you need to be CPA eligible. Okay. So bachelor's degree, you need 120 hours total. That's pretty easy, right? If you have a bachelor's degree, you should have the 120 hours. I'm not aware of a bachelor's degree that has fewer than 120 hours. I believe they all have 120, in some cases more than 120. So should be good there if you have the bachelor's degree. Now, number three, you need 21 hours of upper level accounting courses. So these would be the same accounting courses that someone would take if they were getting a bachelor's in accounting. Okay, so we offer those courses, or the equivalent of those courses. Um, and then down here at the bottom, it says to be licensed as a CPA, an additional 6 hours of upper level accounting courses must be completed. So it's 21 hours to sit for the exam. Then you pass the exam. Then you need an additional 6 hours to get licensed as a CPA. Um, so, you don't have to wait until you pass the exam to complete those 6 hours. So we encourage all of our students to complete the additional six while you're here. You're already taking the other 21. Go ahead and take six more and get to 27. The rule exists like that to encourage more of the accounting graduates, those with bachelor's in accounting, to encourage them to sit right after they graduate because most of the bachelor's degree programs have 21 hours of accounting. So most of those students would actually be eligible right when they graduate. So the idea is they can take the exam right away, then come back and get the additional six. So again, we're just encouraging everybody to go ahead and take all 27 hours at once to save yourself having to come back. If you come back and you haven't been a student in a while, you have to reapply. If it's in the middle of a semester, you got to wait until the end of the semester for the new classes to start. Our classes fill up, so you might have to wait again. So yeah, you're better off just doing them all now. And then you'll also need an ethics course. So we have that as well. That's ACNT 1335. And that's called accounting ethics, but it's not an accounting course. It's actually an ethics course. So for accountants. Okay, in addition to the accounting courses, you would also need 24 hours of upper level business courses, and we also offer those courses as well. Okay, so let's look at the accounting courses. So um, here's 27 accounting courses, 27 hours. So if you take these courses, that will satisfy both the 21 hours that you need to be eligible to sit for the exam, but it'll also give you the extra 6 hours that you need to become licensed. And again, these are the same courses that you would find um, if you went to any university and majored in accounting. Now, our tax courses at the top, 1277, 1278, and 1279. Those are being discontinued at the end of the 2026 summer semester. So those will be offered in the spring of 2026 and the summer of 2026. And then that's it. Then beginning with the fall of 2026, those will be replaced with new tax courses. So these are, you can tell by the second digit being a two, those are 2 hour courses. So those three 2 hour courses will get you 6 hours. We're replacing those with a 3 hour and a 3 hour. So it's the same six. Um, but if you start taking courses before the fall of 2026, just be aware that those courses are going away. So you'd want to, register for all or none. So, in other words, if you're going to take the courses before, take the tax courses before, make sure you get all three. And if not, you can just wait until the fall when it'll just be the two courses and you'll have more options. Now, we also need the business courses. It's a 24-hour business course requirement. And then these are the courses that will satisfy those 24-hour business course requirement. Now, I mentioned at the top about the application of intent. Most likely, you won't have any courses that are required. And so it would just be a matter of identifying, yes, you have a bachelor's degree, yes, you have 120 hours, but then you need all the accounting and business courses. This might be an exception because some of these courses you notice aren't totally exactly business courses. For example, introduction to statistics. It's a math course, right? But it will count. And even the econ courses, a lot of majors require econ courses. So you may have taken some of those courses, or you may have just taken some other courses that might count. And the only way to do that is, again, just to fill out that application of intent. So if you do that and you hear back from the state and they say, well, you have not completed 24 hours of business courses, but you have completed 3 hours, then you would just not take one of these courses. Um, or if you have 6 hours, then you would skip two of these courses. Now, we don't want to repeat any courses. So, for example, if the course, let's say you got credit for 3 hours for one course. If that course was an economics course, then you would skip our economics. You would need to find out which one. Usually it's macro, micro, or if it was like a statistics course, then don't take our statistics course. Okay, and then here's the ethics course, AC&T 1335. And again, just to be clear, you don't have to complete this course to be eligible to sit for the exam. This is something you need to be licensed as a CPA. So, you can take the minimum number of courses, then take the exam and come back and take more courses, or just take all the courses at once and then go deal with the exam. So that's why we recommend everybody take this before you take the exam. That way you don't have to come back. Okay. So those are the courses that you need. So you need the bachelor's degree, you need the 120 hours, and then you need the accounting courses, and you need the business courses. So in what order should I take these courses? That's a very, very common question. So I'm not going to give you a very specific semester by semester degree plan for a lot of reasons, because it's not going to work for everybody. Some people want to do full time, most want to do part time. Most of our students are working full time. So you can only take one, two, three classes, that's not unusual. And so, I don't want you to feel like there's only one plan. I mean, there's super, super flexible. Okay. So instead of giving you an exact plan, I'm going to give you guidelines, and then you can pick the order in which you take the courses. Because a lot of these courses, it doesn't matter when you take them or in what order. And some of the courses, it matters very, very specifically when you take those courses. You have to take them in a very specific order. All right, so let's start with the first one here. Now, since you don't have an accounting background and you don't have a business degree, we recommend that you take ACCT 2301 and 2302. This is Principles of Financial Accounting and Principles of Managerial Accounting. So these are the same two accounting courses that all business majors at colleges, four-year colleges and universities take. So if you went to, you know, UCLA, Harvard, Northwestern. Doesn't matter what school you went to. If you went there and got a bachelor's in accounting, you'd be taking these two courses. They might have a different name, but all business degrees across the country require, at least all the ones I've seen, require you to take these two courses your sophomore year. Now, these are foundational, fundamental accounting courses. Um, so we want you to take those first. Now, don't take them at the same time because they build on each other. Now, at Dallas College, we do have 8-week semesters. Like the fall is broken into a first 8 weeks, second 8 weeks. So you could, in theory, take 2301 in the first half and then 2302 in the second half, something like that. But you just want to take 2301, complete that, then take 2302 and do those two before you do any other accounting courses. Okay, now once you've completed those two courses, then we can move on to the upper division accounting. Um, Now, the tax courses, which are 1277, 1278, 1279, and 1393. And again, I mentioned that we were going to have new tax courses in the future. That would be, instead of these three, those go away. And then it's 1377 and 2377. Those will be the new ones. And then also 1393s are tax research. So those courses can be taken right after you do 2301 or 2302. And those can be taken simultaneously. You don't have to really worry about so much in order. You'd probably be better off with the tax course if you took it after those two, but I've seen students take it before and do okay. You can also do 2332, which is accounting information systems. So it's more of a technology course. ASCNT 1375 is forensic accounting, and then that 1335 is the ethics course. So any of those courses can be taken after 2301 and 2302. And even this ethics course, that you can even take with 2301 and 2302. It wouldn't matter because again, it's you're just taking an ethics course at that point. Um, okay, so that's kind of a guide for those courses. It really doesn't matter when you take those, just do the 2301 and '02, the accounting principles course, then you can do any of those. And again, with the exception, ethics can be taken at any time. Then we've got ACNT 1373 and 1374. So those you do not want to take at the same time. You want to take 1373, complete that, then take 1374. Okay, these are financial accounting classes. So it's one and two. So they go back to back. Don't take them at the same time. Don't take them out of order. Take 1373, then 1374. Now, you can take those two courses anytime after you do step one with 2301 and 2302. Then you could immediately start that. So you don't have to clear out number two per se before you go to number three. I'm just letting you know that, with 1373 and four, just make sure you take them in order, you know. So yeah, you could finish 2301 and 2302, and then the next semester you could take like a couple tax courses and 1373, something like that. Once you've completed 1373 and 1374, then you can take 2336, which is financial statement analysis. That course you really need to have done 1373 and 1374. So after those two, then you can do that. And you can do ACNT 2378, which is the audit class. So though, and yes, those can be taken simultaneously. Those don't relate to each other, 2336 and 2378, except that both should be taken after you've completed 1373 and 1374. Um, and then finally, we have the non-accounting business courses. You can take those in any order at any time, whatever works for you. So, what I like to recommend with those courses, you just kind of sprinkle those into your schedule as you need them. Focus on the accounting because there'll be a couple issues. One is obviously you're going to need to take these in a little bit of an order. For example, you got to start your first class should be ACCT 2301. But if you want to take several classes, you could also take ACNT 1335, the ethics, and then you could look at the business classes and take one or however many you want to do. And then after that, then you go to 2302. Again, you need to add in something you can add in, business courses. And then when you get to the tax courses and AIS and all that, same deal. Maybe you take more then, and then kind of spread the business out wherever you need them. So that's the flexibility of the business courses. Um, okay, so if you have any questions about this, just feel free to email me. My email is here on the first slide. And again, this video is just to go over the eligibility requirements or the education related eligibility requirements and the courses that we offer and which courses to take. So we do have other videos about other information. And then, of course, you may have some questions about something that wasn't covered in the video. So yeah, just feel free to email me or reach out and I'll either give you an answer. And if I don't know the answer, I'll forward you on to somebody that can help you.